What is going on, everyone? So by this point in time, you already know the drill. It's hate mail time. If you're new to the channel, I begin most of my videos by reading emails that I consider to be hate, and we give these people a few minutes of attention that they don't get from the rest of society. So Aiden is today's hater. Congratulations on making it to one of my videos. This will surely be the only positive in your otherwise miserable life, but I am glad to help. Are you 12? I am no feminist, but you make me ashamed of being a male. I can't believe that I'm younger than you, only by a couple of years, but I'm still more mature than you. Let me expose you for the fraud you are. And if you choose not to make a video on this, I'll show everyone that you were too scared to respond to this email. 1. How many girlfriends have you had? 2. How many friends do you have? 3. Do you live in your parents' home? I'm 19 and live in my own apartment. 4. How many fights have you been in? I can bet money on it that the answer to all of those are 0, idiot. I am 12 inches deep in your mom. It looks like I already won the bet without even answering any of those questions. You said that you would bet money on it that the answers to all of those questions are 0. One of your questions is, do you live in your parents' home? That's a yes or no question. If I answered with 0, it wouldn't make much sense, and you're calling me the idiot. Go back to eating crayons, you moron. So let's address these questions one by one. I don't know how these questions will expose me, but I'll entertain you. I've had a total of 0 girlfriends. Well done, you got that one correct. But if I really wanted to, I could go out and bag a girl right now. I've had so many different opportunities throughout my life to get a girlfriend, but I was the one that turned them down. I still have text receipts if you really don't believe me, but at the end of the day, my decision to not get a girlfriend is based on the fact that I'm trying to spend the last days of my young years on myself. I get to spend all the money I make on myself, alright? A lot of these girls see you as a living, breathing bank account. They'll expect you to shower them in that green, and a lot of these relationships only last a couple of months anyways, and these females will just get bored of you and hop on another man's meat. I'm gonna graduate college with a pretty high GPA, get a nice 6-figure job, and I'll have my pick of the litter. When I pull up to McDonald's with my dime of a wife, you'll be the one taking my order, you peon. You better make sure the ice cream machine is working or it's GG's for you. I'll even throw in a $5 tip so you can use that money to buy some baby formula for your malnourished child. But hey, in your mind, having 10 girlfriends before you turn 21 somehow shows that you're better than me. Just goes to show you how immature you are, even though you think you're more mature than me. Now on to the second question. I have a decent amount of friends, but I like to keep my inner circle close and tight-knit. You could have more friends than me, but I can guarantee you those are surface level relationships. They wouldn't be willing to give you the time of day when you actually need help. Alright, you're just a shoulder to cry on for them. They don't actually care about you. Your friendships are empty. People just talk to you when they're bored. One of my friends is worth more than any of the so-called friends you've ever made in your life. On to the third question. I do live with my parents. I don't know how you expect a college student to go out and buy a house. I don't know how things work in white families. I'm assuming you're white, but in brown households, we typically stay with our parents until we're financially independent and buy our own home, so I guess it's more of a cultural thing. But when I do buy that house, it will be 20 times the size of your shack. My bathroom will be bigger than your entire apartment. And to answer number 4, I've been in several physical and verbal fights throughout my life. The first being in 5th grade, where a kid made fun of my younger sister, made her cry. So when we were out during recess, I took a basketball and drop kicked it at his face, and he got the smoke. But luckily, I was able to weasel myself out of getting into too much trouble because I'm built different. So I don't know how my answers will expose me as a fraud, but all it has done is shown that you spend your Thursday nights licking your kitchen floor and thinking about sending your hate mail to another man. I've said this before, if you're gonna send me hate mail, at least send it to me using a fake email. This basement dweller sent this hate mail to me using his college email. It had his college's name, so I read the first 2 sentences of his email and I looked him up and found him in about 5 seconds. He's an art history major at a pretty big school here in the United States. Needless to say, this hate mail is legit. This isn't satire. This isn't a troll. This dude is being for real, which I can't wrap my head around. So let's see what he has to say. I would like to begin by making note of your YouTube success. You have amassed a very respectable number of subscribers in a relatively short period of time. If your content was not so flagrantly offensive, I might congratulate you on this achievement. However, I will be doing no such thing. But allow me to tell you a story. I'm a college student. Last semester, I found myself with an empty spot in my schedule. Open to new experiences, I signed up for Intro to Gender Studies, and I am so grateful I did. Before long, I found myself commiserating with the plight of the modern woman. Their oppression is real, and any attempt to downplay it, as you do on a regular basis, is male privilege in its most distilled form. Perhaps you can learn a lesson here. You mustn't carry on with such animus toward our world's many queens. I implore you to learn empathy and ideally learn gender studies too. Let this email be your first step down the road to tolerance and enlightenment. Together, we can smash cis heteropatriarchy once and for all. First of all, I would like to begin by making note of your art history degree. The toilet paper that I use every morning is worth more than the so-called degree you're paying over $100,000 for. After graduating, you're gonna be working in a museum with a bunch of senior citizens. Have fun hanging out with grandmas every day. I also don't understand why you're acting like this is an English essay. Why are you using words like animus and implore? Email me like a normal person. We're not living in 1500s England. I don't care about your medieval vocabulary. I also don't care if you congratulate me or not. You are irrelevant, a nobody, a peon. I also don't get why you say, quote unquote, allow me to tell you a story, because let me tell you, I'm not allowing you to tell me a story. I literally don't want to listen to what you have to say, so I don't get why you asked for my permission if you were gonna give me your stupid story anyways. Now, let me give you some advice. None of your white knight simpery is gonna get you laid. Nothing turns a woman off more than being a beta soy, which you seem to fully embrace. This is exactly how you fall into the deepest depths of the friend zone. You literally took a gender studies class. I would honestly rather read a coloring book than to read gender studies literature. What's wrong with you? Don't you realize that all these feminists who are so-called oppressed taking gender studies classes, that these girls are entitled? They come from rich families. How do you think they're able to blow hundreds of thousands of dollars on a useless degree? Give me a break. And if you say male privilege is a thing, then I can show you a million instances of female privilege too. I don't need to take a step down a road of tolerance and enlightenment. I'm already at the finish line. I know who I am as a person, and I don't need to validate myself by taking a gender studies class to prove to myself that I'm some woke person. I sincerely pray that if I ever have a son, he won't turn into someone like this kid. Shame on you. We have today yet another jealous hater, a neckbeard who doesn't get any love from his parents, probably just drives around neighborhoods with an unmarked white van that has free candy written on the side of it. It's funny because his email just so happened to be the same as his Instagram username, which his Instagram isn't private, so this clown clearly doesn't know how to conceal his tracks, or he didn't think that I would actually look him up on the internet. But anyways, let's take a look at what he has to say. If you're gonna say that OnlyFans shouldn't be considered a job, then take a look at yourself. You are making YouTube videos and call that a career. What a joke. You've gotten the same amount of girls as you have brain cells. I'll let you figure that one out. I've been subscribed to your channel for quite some time since your crappy WNBA compilations, but I'm not subscribed because I like your content. I'm just here to leave a dislike on every video you release. Back to my original point. These girls who you claim to be quote unquote thoughts are way more popular than you and make more money than you. After all, they don't have to buy views and subscribers like you. I mean, how is it possible for you to grow so fast given your filthy, low quality content? It sounds like you're a jealous virgin who hasn't even smelt a girl. Okay, so we have a lot to unpack here. So I've said it only 10 million times. I'm a college student. YouTube isn't my career and it will likely never be my career. I'll end up getting a job after I graduate and use YouTube as side money. I'm not gonna be living off government welfare checks like you pissant. A human brain contains about 10 billion brain cells, so are you suggesting that I've gotten 10 billion girls? Thank you very much for the compliment, but I stay true, I stay loyal. I've only ever had one girl, and that smoke show just so happens to be your older sister. Now, I know you're best friends with your right hand, so when you're on the hub, you might notice your sister's face on one of the thumbnails. I know you're in love with her, so you'll probably click on the video, and my beautiful face will be right there as well. It also might explain why you're gonna be an uncle in a few more months, but don't worry, I've already placed a restraining order on you. Now, did your mom decide to roll around in radioactive waste when she was pregnant? Because it seems like you were born with your brain fully formed inside of your asshole. You leaving a dislike does not matter. I think I have a 96 to 98% like to dislike ratio on all of my videos, so please keep clicking on my videos, leave a dislike, and continue giving me ad revenue. Thank you so much for your service. Now, you do realize that these OnlyFans girls are rubbing their dirty boot all over your face, and you're just sitting there like a little lapdog licking their boot. You are out here defending girls who don't even know who you are, and they're using losers like you to get more and more money. Alright, just think about it for a second. I know it might be hard since you're suffering from third stage brain damage, but you really woke up to write a moronic email to a guy you don't even know to defend some random girl on the internet. Does that not sound sad and pitiful to you? And you're absolutely right, I don't go around smelling girls. Okay, that's kind of weird. So I guess you you got one thing right in your email. What's worse is it sounds like you're jealous of another man's success. Maybe one day I'll pull up to your house in a Ferrari and do donuts on your driveway, and then I'll proceed to use my money to purchase you because that is how insignificant and worthless you are.